Imagine for a moment that you could shrink down to the size of a grain of rice. You step outside your door and suddenly, the world is not the world you know. The blades of grass are skyscrapers. A single drop of morning dew is a vast, shimmering lake. And the ground beneath your feet, it's alive. It hums with a rhythm you've never heard before, a million tiny footsteps, a symphony of chemical whispers. You are standing on the edge of a civilization so ancient, so complex, and so ruthless that it makes our own history look like a single fleeting breath. We are talking, of course, about the world of ants. But here's the question that should stop you cold. What if they are not just insects? What if they are something else entirely? What if right now, under your house, in your backyard, there is a society that has mastered agriculture, warfare, architecture, and even slavery, long before humans ever picked up a stone tool? Let's start with the city. Not a nest. A city. You see a mound of dirt in a park and you think, that's an anthill. You are wrong. That mound is just the front door. The real structure, the underground metropolis, can extend for miles. Some colonies, like the Argentine ant supercolony, stretch over 3,700 miles. That's longer than the distance from New York to Los Angeles. This is not a family. This is an empire. And it is built with a precision that would make our finest engineers weep with envy. Every grain of dirt is carried one by one to create a complex network of tunnels, chambers, and ventilation shafts. They have temperature control. They have waste management. They have dedicated nurseries, food storage, and even cemeteries. They have solved the problem of traffic jams, by the way, something we, with our billion-dollar infrastructure, still cannot do. Ants move in a constant flowing stream, never colliding, never stopping. They have a system, a perfect, unbreakable system. But how do they communicate? They don't have words. They don't have a language like ours. They have chemistry. They leave invisible trails of pheromones on the ground. A single ant finds food. It leaves a trail back to the nest. Other ants follow that trail, and they reinforce it with their own pheromones. The more ants that use a path, the stronger the signal becomes. It's like a living, breathing map written in scent. They can tell each other, food here, danger there, follow me, build this, attack that. All of it, without a single sound. Imagine if you could walk into a room and instantly know everyone's mood, everyone's intention, just by the air you breathe. That is the ant's reality. But here is where the story takes a dark turn. This is not a peaceful utopia. This is a world of total war. Ants are the only creatures on Earth, besides humans, that engage in organized, large-scale warfare. They have armies, they have generals, they have tactics. Some species, like the army ants of the Amazon, do not build nests at all. They are a living, moving fortress. Millions of jaws, marching in a coordinated wave, consuming everything in their path. A colony of army ants can strip a horse to the bone in a matter of hours. They don't fight for territory, they fight for survival, and they never, ever retreat. But even more terrifying than the war is the slavery. Some ant species, like the Amazon ant, cannot even feed themselves. Their jaws are so specialized for killing that they cannot chew their own food. So they raid other colonies. They steal the pupae, the babies, of other ants. They bring them back to their nest, and those stolen ants grow up thinking they belong there. They become the workers. They feed the masters. They raise the masters' young. They are born into a life of servitude with no memory of their true home. And you think, this is just instinct. This is just nature. But is it? Because if you look closely enough, you start to see a pattern that looks an awful lot like us. And that is where the real mystery begins. Look at human history. Empires rising and falling, armies marching across borders, slaves building monuments for kings they never knew. We tell ourselves we are different because we have consciousness, because we choose. But do we really? Or are we just better at telling ourselves stories about why we do what we do? The ant colony operates on a chemical language so complex that we are only beginning to decode it. Pheromones, signals. A single ant leaves a trail, and thousands follow without question. They don't debate, they don't protest, they just move. And when a colony grows too large, something remarkable happens. The queen produces a special brood, not workers, not soldiers, winged kings and queens. They fly into the sky on the same day, across entire regions, synchronized by an invisible clock, millions of mating flights, a single day of chaos, and then the males die, the females land, tear off their own wings and dig a hole in the ground. They are queens now. They will never see the sun again. And you ask yourself, what drives them? What makes a creature spend its entire life in darkness, serving a purpose it will never fully understand? The answer is terrifyingly simple. The colony is not a group of individuals. The colony is one organism. Each ant is a cell. The queen is the heart. The workers are the hands. The soldiers are the immune system. And when a colony dies, it doesn't just collapse. It dissolves. Without the chemical signals, the ants wander aimlessly. They forget what they were doing. They starve, even with food right in front of them. Because an ant without a colony is not an ant at all. It is a ghost. So here is the question that keeps scientists awake at night. If ants are just chemical machines following programming they never wrote, what makes us so sure we are any different? We laugh. We love. We build cathedrals and write symphonies. But under the surface, the same patterns emerge. Tribes, hierarchies, wars over resources, the need to belong so strong that we will follow anyone who gives us a purpose. The ant world is not a mirror. It is a warning. Because if you strip away our language, our art, our illusions of free will, what remains? A creature that builds, that fights, that serves, that dies for a story it cannot fully understand. And maybe that is the most humbling truth of all. We are not the masters of this planet. We are just another colony, marching, building, fighting, and hoping that somewhere, in some vast intelligence we cannot perceive, someone is watching us the way we watch the ants, and wondering if we ever realize the cage we are in. The next time you step on an ant, pause. Look closer. You are not crushing an insect. You are ending a civilization, one that has been fighting its wars, raising its young, and dreaming its silent dreams for 100 million years. And in the grand, indifferent timeline of the Earth, we are the newcomers.